Okay, so it seems I'm actually having a stream working for once. That's neat, I guess. Well then, let's just... Yeah, I'm very late at this point because of things. Got stuck in dinner. So now we won't have any practice. I hope I'm getting on the server before qualifying starts, because they will probably do split quali and we are GT4 is gonna go first. So I need to actually on the server right now. I'm not yet. So this overlay. Oh wait, then I still have the stuff on over here. Grab. Calibrate. I'm not gonna reposition. If we're wrong, we're just gonna be slightly off. But we're gonna still switch the controls off. Yep, worked. Fine. Okay. I threw them way too far. Okay, well then. This. Steam. Library. Great, it's on this screen. ACC. Why is AMS 2 has an update queued? Why is Steam constantly like having issues with like queuing stuff and like it never just automatically updates. It's just I catch it so many times where it queues something and I'm just like, bruh, why have you not done it already? Pain, huh? So I'll wait. Yep, won't work soon. Okay. I haven't switched the car yet. Doesn't oversight. Maserati. One obviously the flattest Justice car. And then we need SRXP. There. Right, they're in overtime right now. Precisely, we're still in overtime from free practice. This is perfect. I haven't actually turned the pedal cam on yet. Let's do that briefly. We have time. Although, I mean, I need to set up the car also. So, we don't have actually time, but still better than nothing. Come on. Come on, turn on. Windows disconnecting and reconnecting 3 times before it finally is able to connect to something. First 10 minutes is GT4. Yep, just read in chat what I assumed would happen. Roger that. Okay, the reference time is set by the Alpine driver again with a 56.6. It's the fastest time of the Alpine guy, who is the same guy I saw last week. Right, actually we need the aggressive preset. Temperature 28 degrees Celsius. Cyan. Do I want to close the brake ducts down one click? I mean, if the temperatures are this low, sure. Otherwise probably not. Switch stations right now. Probably want to take brake power slightly out of the car, maybe. Like by slightly rearwards, 1 click out of the front spring rates. I think the ARBs are gonna be fine. Brake pads to 1. 20 or so liters, we can't adjust this anyway. Some tow taken out of the car, I think. Yeah, temperatures are still the same roughly, so I think we're just gonna drive out like this. Hit it.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Fuck me, Jesus! On low temps, you really get a lot of wheel spin on this car now. Holy sweet one of God, the mortifying! And it's still tail waggling up the hill. We might need to put some rear wing into this. We'll hope for the tires to finally get up to temps. Although it does want to like stick on its line, which is really nice. I want to recalibrate right now in a sense that I can actually see the rev lights, but currently what I'm getting is everything but that. Impressive, that was the first lockup so far. Granted, I did back the brake power down by 1 click from 92 to 91. I think that is very appropriate with this car. It still has decent braking power. Oh, this feels nice. This genuinely feels nice to drive. Car flows really nicely for the corners as long as you don't get like the hill. Yeah, there's a bit, not what you said, perhaps, up the hill. It likes the curbing can be very much used. Okay, you cannot go that early on the throttle. Really well responds. For normal AC, I thought it was front wheel drive. What's wrong with me? He's like, no, it's definitely not front wheel drive. Although granted, this thing does not. Like, you can get wheel spin, definitely. I demonstrated that coming out of the pits after all. But it's like, in most situations you rarely actually have to like deal with the fact that it doesn't have TC. It's like a Porsche Cup car in a sense. Because in a Porsche Cup, like, if you stab the throttle too hard it will spin also. But here with the clock in, it was off pace, about 6/10. Fastest time is a 56.2 from some BMW driver, so it goes way quicker for sure. But this lap isn't going to improve much. 15 minutes on the clock. This time I was way faster in, but that cost me now out of the chicane. I could this time stay flat out of it. Well, my tire pressure is actually spot on, I would say. This corner is probably messed up for me. Attack them more. gap behind.
Personal fastest lap.
3 minutes remaining right now, so I have about 2 laps to go. It's always the in-between solution is the solution. A shot there. I can actually brake later here. Still not attacking this corner enough. And then I over-attack this one. So much timing on. Oh, it's getting tight, it's getting tight. Fuck! Just because the final corner. I would have had provisional pole if I hadn't bottled the final corner up. I think the Alpine still hasn't set a lap time. Oh, actually he has, sorry. He's 6/10 down on us.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
I just need to stay with my lap time. And not bottle the final corner, and that's it. Then I have Paul GT4. Oh, I bottled this corner again. No, massive wheel spin. 3/10 down, that's the time I would gain in the final corner by taking the ride. It's almost likely gonna get denied here. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough. Fuck! Ah!
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out. Your lap time is invalidated.
Just this tiny amount!
Slow car ahead.
This tiny amount to that BMW. That's a bit frustrating. Although, he's still on a lap. Let's see if he can improve. Because I would be surprised if he's gonna finish here half a second down. Although it could be just there's now a massive power dynamic shift between me not driving a Merc instead driving a Maserati. And might just completely change the power dynamic here. That is a bit wide. Yeah, there was more time in there for sure, and I was just not quite delivering on it. Ah, and there he goes. What did I say? I would be surprised if he doesn't go first, that he just goes it. 1.5 seconds faster. Man, I could have also had them. But now we're third in class. Ah. But for the most part, the car's fine at this point. Let's say. Absolutely delivering on this setup already. See, Watkins Glen and 01. So, well then. It's GT3 time. Who's gonna come out on top in the GT3s? I just gotta put myself back into my car. While I'm waiting for things to happen. Everything's functional, everything's working. Yep, everything is great. So, alright then. What I have looked at a bit more with the SRGP race, that will start around... we currently have 2017. So I think like 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes, but it's, how much is left in the session? 6 minutes or so. Yeah, 6.5 minutes. So that leaves us about-ish, what would that be? About 3-4 minutes behind schedule right now. Well, quote-unquote schedule. I think this is very much still scheduled, but the session is... the Springfield started 1945 with the practice session start. So practice session should have been 15 minutes. And then 20 minutes of qualifying. So it's 2018 and this qualifying, if there's no overrun, no startup time of the server, should end at 2020. But, well, we still have 5 minutes on the clock instead of 2. So, guess what? There's gonna take like a hot minute. This will leave us for... Actually, what is the practice times people have been setting on the SRGP side? Somebody has with an Audi R8 Evo 2 set a 57 on the practice server. There. Someone else with a 57.4. Those aren't terrible times, I would say. And he's tall and also like 80 laps, 86 laps, 40 valid flying laps, 58, 57. I don't quite remember what I was lapping when I was competing with the M4 recently. On track. I have remembered that I still have a setup from running there in Sim Racing 604 with the... when I drove in the Pro Split there. Yeah, I still have a setup left over, so I can use that. Wait. How's it going right now? Bullwinkle is right now in provisional pole, followed by Hartmann. With 6 tenths down, and then Mauricio 1.1 seconds of provisional pole. So Mercedes, Audi, BMW, and then McLaren, and then Kinnan in the Ferrari. Followed by Sachs in the Bentley, 2 seconds off provisional pole. Yeah, there's a bit of a field spread, you could say. Bullwinkle is going to improve a bit. No, he's not improving actually. Mauricio actually has put himself into P2, only half a second off pole. Hartmann with still some work to do. I think you can also tell the new Audi apart because of the steering wheel in the Evo 2. I think that's different in the Evo 2, the steering wheel and the rear wing, obviously. So I can I think demonstrate? No, I can't. Alright, now, let me. You can see the rear wing support here. Just that's only Evo 2. The Evo 1 has a straight wing with wing support coming from the front instead of the back. So that's the difference. And you can tell this apart from the GT2 version because the GT2 has the roof scoop. Obviously, ACC unfortunately does not have GT2, despite that the rumor was with the Challenger pack that we would get GT2s, but well, it turned out that we would get this car here and a couple of cup cars, and that was basically the entire thing. Unfortunately, no GT2. And cup cars aren't particularly useful because you have to specifically race them against each other. You can't race different cup cars with each other. They are not balanced for that. Porsche Cup is just gonna annihilate on most circuits. The Lambo and the Lambo is just gonna and both of them probably get annihilated by the Ferrari. Also, they both absolutely drive all the cousins into the ground most of the time because they have ooh, that was close. They have oftentimes more power and stuff, so double-edged sword in that sense. A bit of convincing to get it back into the perspective. The Toot has not set a lap time yet. There's 4 GT3s that have not set a lap time yet, and there's only a minute 40 in the session remaining. Oh, I didn't get myself water. I should probably do that right now. And yeah, because we're a bit behind schedule, it's probably... The thing is, I don't likely need any practice for SRGPs. Just if the races were both 2 20-minute races, it would just fit slightly better into my schedule. Because I don't care if I if I'm slightly late, if I don't get any practice in for the SRGP because I can just drive in qualifying. But I don't quite intend to miss half of qualifying because that could actually end up bad. Or miss the race start entirely. Because that stuff is just, that's not gonna end well for me. So I'm more likely to just bolt out of the second race here. Right, let me just leave briefly. Oh, won't bolt up on the table there. Anyway. Grab. Oh, there's a G-force indicator. Please report if red. I see. That's probably when the car is in accident and G-force meter will go red, indicating that it was a heavy impact. So if that went red, that's for the safety crews that they know. Well, that thing went red, so we need special attention to the driver. It's an interesting little detail. You always have a lot of detail with ACC. Of just the tiny stuff and all over the place in the car. Maybe nook and cranny in the machinery. Right. The 3 GT3s that have not set a lap are still out on the track. That's the positive part. They all seem to be right now still on a valid lap, but... Okay, he's the furthest back. Actually, this guy's gonna be the first one to complete his lap. Off the 3. Boom! Goes 14th. Quite a bit off the pace, 5.5 seconds of provisional pole, but better than nothing, I would suppose. He comes in, off the final corner, run to the line, what will it be? It will be 14, just half a second up on the other guy. So, dude, Thomas, are you gonna actually put a lap time in now? Please. I mean, you're driving a Porsche. A valiant effort. Ooh, that's a bit close to track limits. probably will see a session switch once he crosses. Yep. We're finally in the next session. 2 minutes. Now on the grid. We're now actually 6 minutes behind schedule, and another 2, and then the formation lap as well. So we will probably be heading towards SRGP at around 21:05 in about 40 minutes or so, I would say. Which I think is an appropriate time for us to get started rolling. Actually, temperature has come down even, interestingly enough. I think, how much pressure do I want to put extra into the tires? 0.2 I think is perhaps a decent idea. Although this tire was actually high pressured. Maybe take the pressure out of it instead of putting it in. That should be fine. Brake power should be fine. We're gonna leave with this amount of brake power. 55 liters should also be fine, most likely for a 30-minute race. It's GT4, you don't run out of fuel here. It's 110 liters anyway. The car doesn't last on 55 liters for half an hour, then we'll have a problem anyway. So, and I think we have everything. Don't have a mandatory pit stop or anything, we just need to drive.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I've seen how amazing AC can look. I don't know when you wrote that, but like I've seen AC. I've seen videos of the amazing rain in AC with Soul. Although I don't have the like subscribed version of that, so I haven't actually played with it. I've just played with normal Soul. Normal Soul looks already like amazing enough. Like normal AC without rain is already like dope. The thing is, obviously, with AC is that the game was never designed around rain, so like the physics are just physics, tire compounds, nothing is really there to support it. I'd probably want to move the brake bar still a bit rearwards, just to avoid to lock up while I'm warming the brake discs up. To hopefully fully dump more heat into the rear discs. Yeah, I've heard there's like that they added rain physics, but like that doesn't mean it's good. I know these guys are like amazing and stuff at everything, but still, it's like. Game was never designed around some of these features, and it's just about holding on for dear life and something else. Obviously, rain in AC won't ever like truly become something usable till it's in the free version, I will say. It's like I can totally understand for the developer to charge for it, but till then, it's obviously a beta feature and it can remain for another few years there. It's fine. I don't need it, and if I need it, I'm more than willing to pay. It's just till you can see it used in online racing and stuff like that. It's a bit of that still. Okay, perhaps not just rain would be be dope if we didn't. Brake pedal feels slightly odd. Right, we need a bit more forward brake bias because otherwise, as soon as we hit the brake pedal, we're gonna nearly spin. Yeah, the first few percent of my brake pedal feels just off right now. Nearly the end of the train caught us out there. I don't know, starting first or starting second? We're gonna just start in second.
Green light, surely
Well, the Audi is very jumpy, these Audis.
clear on the left.
Oh god, there's chaos.
Clear on the left. Car on the left.
It's one of the slow. How the fuck are you not clearing me, BMW driver? What are you doing right now? Us being asleep or something?
Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
It cost me a bit of time. BMW, the GT4 M4 has streaked away a bit. I mean, this race starts in the last two races I ran here were like pretty clean, but that was carnage. Whoa, that McLaren just put the poor Alpine into the wall. Like, what the fuck?
Car on the right.
Please don't crash into me right now. What the fuck is wrong with these guys? Like, come on. Drive a GT4 if you can't drive. You don't look silly completely. I have a massive run on McDonald, but like passing up the hill is gonna be its own challenge.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
There was slight contact there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
I'm letting him send it.
Yellow flag. Be careful there.
And there's the McLaren dad. Because I'm pretty sure what happened there. He tried to dive bomb the beamer. Are we gonna understeer?
Clear on the right.
I'm sorry, I'm going for first here. And no, I didn't actually show a middle finger to him. I think that was air racing. Well, I am going for first. Yeah, the Maserati is an actually competitive car. Oh, that was way too deep. on quite a lot of circuits. Like Mons, if you think because it doesn't have TC or ABS or there's no old car, it's fast in a straight line, you're dead wrong. The thing is sucks in a straight line. Monza is one of its worst circuits, by far. It's really good at Barcelona, I've found out. An absolute killer weapon around that circuit. Yeah, I would say quite a few. Imola, I've also found it's a really good car with. It doesn't like long braking zones, but it can very much still handle them if you have like one of them. Yeah, streaked away a bit there. Beginning of the lap. Maybe because the Beamer is actually fast in a straight line. As far as I know, the Beamer is a relatively straight line focused car. But my car makes a lot of ground somehow up on mid corners, despite that you have to really mind its weight. You can't like yeet it into corners. You have to respect that the thing weighs something. It was a bit fun battling the Alpine because he's been completely wrecked out of this race. Had good battles with him yesterday, but just when I was driving the Merc. But unfortunately he got killed by the McLaren. It was just so stupid. As far as I could see, the McLaren just drilled him into the wall. Passing the BMW is gonna be its own challenge as well. Also, I don't know when actually the GT3s are gonna lap us. Yeah, I think they have 14 seconds or so per lap faster, GT3s, than us. At least quality pace compared to race pace. Although this BMW driver is for sure not a slouch. No pushover. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna drop some pace towards the later stages of the race. This car is not particularly good at its tires. Running 30-minute sprints is a-okay. Running full hour stints, you start to stretch the capabilities of the tires on this machine. How much I run him down with like the corners. Also, benefit of me is probably the lack of TC. It might actually be a genuine benefit for me. Because a lot of these GT4s have like road car TC ABS systems, which cut a lot more than you actually need. So you end up with like the situation where they're just not beneficial even to you. Cars are also undrivable if you drive without them. Well, I don't have any, so I can't lose power out of corners. experience, has a great sound, but not great on racing, engine-wise at least. The Maserati F136, which Maserati is that? I don't know which one is that. It's not the... because I know EC has a few Maseratis. I think it has also this car as well. But EC itself has the... that, I think 2006, 2004, something like that, GT1 car. They have from Maserati the old, like, early 60s F1 car, I think. But I mean, Maserati was not long a manufacturer in F1, so why he's going defensive up here is a bit weird. Ooh, he's pushing it for sure. Like, that car was very sideways at that stage. Let's flick the headlights on, I would say. Not to irritate him, but because it's dusk, so common courtesy for better visibility. There's a GT3 back marker about 18 seconds back. He still has to pass most of the GT4 field. Ah, it's the name of the engine. Yeah, it has a really good sound for sure. It's also, I think, very powerful with the GT4 BOP, a very powerful engine. I think also one of its large strengths this car comes with is that you have a lot of grunt out of corners. With a relatively gentle power curve. Although you have to mind the engine in terms of just RPMs. Like, at least with this gearbox it's connected with, you have to... the engine has a lot of inertia and you have to take care on the downshifts, because it takes a while to go down the gears. But the gears are very long, I think, on this, in the GT4 car here. Yeah, he's absolutely trying everything. Passing him won't be that easy. Although maybe it will be.
Car on the right.
He is racing clean.
On the right.
He did not try to shove me off the road, which I would have totally expected, actually. Though he gave me the room on the outside there. Was a bit fast into turn one. Let's exit speeds. Now it will be a question of slipstream battle. He will have in the top end, I think, more than me. Although we're running a relatively low wing setup on this car. So, have to see. Nah, he seems to struggle. But he is attacking the chicane way harder than me. Just don't see a point quite in it. Oh, and there comes the GT3 backmarker that I was expecting. But he's coming by. Actually, there's an actual backmarker back there that I was expecting. This is another GT3. I don't know what happened to the back marker because I would have expected him to pass around the same time. Okay, there he is actually. I think that was the boat that was spun in turn 1 in front of us. He's not had a particularly good race then. I mean, we still expect probably the race leaders to actually lap us. So there's that. And I also nearly beat my... He went sub 56. We're just beating qualifying times right now. Yeah, I think I will actually field the Maserati. I think I will be running the Tuesday SRXP Championship. I think next week it starts. The 6-round championship, weekly, Tuesdays. Although, time slot is a little bit close. And I will be running this car, I think. I have an SRXP in, like, things that aren't fun events. So the Enduros and the main championship, I've won only one race. It was Solder in season 3, so it's been a bit ago. It's over a year actually, when I won with my KTM in Solder. Oh, we actually lost the BMW, I have not noticed that. The M4 is gone. It's McDonald now behind me again. About 8 seconds. It's the Audi driver there. And we know also that the Alpine driver is retired. Because he's clearly in the pits. Right. Also, the race leader is actually gonna come by soon. Now, they have now lapped P2 in GT4. And now about 7 seconds behind me. There's an actual battle for P1 going on right now. Time is it right now? It's 11 minutes to go, and it's 2050, so unfortunately we'll most likely not be able to race the second race, but it's fine.
Faster car coming up behind you.
Try to clear me on the outside.
Clear on the left.
I'll give you room.
Faster car behind you. Clear on the left.
Still probably held up second place a bit more than the other guy. But besides pulling over at the hairpin and waiting for them, not much I could do. They have to still duke it out between each other. And it's not like I took one of them out of the fight. P3 is relatively close by, but then P4 has a bit more distance.
Faster car coming up behind you. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
His connection looks a bit funny. Yeah, he has a high ping. See, I remember. He has had a bad connection the entire session.
Faster car behind you. Yellow flag in sector 2. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
It's a bit awkward getting passed through the SS by a GT3.
Car coming up behind. Watch out.
Still doable. But yeah, the car is such a treat actually to drive. It's genuinely fun. Compared to like yesterday was a slog with the Merc.
Clear on the right.
Walwinkel was the pole sitter at one point. He's down to P5.
Faster car is
Bit surprising. He's a very fast driver. I don't know, maybe something happened early on. He's trying to stay out of it. Ooh, that was a bit close.
car on the left. Clear on the left.
Don't be so scared. Sometimes you have to be willing to take some risks when passing.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
Because staying behind is actually taking more risks at times. Okay, driving off the curbing there will actually get you track limits, but obviously
Car on the right.
for me I was too slow
Behind you.
to actually get invalidated. So that's a GT3 actually for position that has passed me. Must have been collected in the start.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front.
Gets cleared.
There's a slow car ahead.
I think it's one of the
Faster car coming up behind you.
further up Audi that spun there. Come on by, come on by. Someone pinged me in Discord. It's fine. What actual in-game time is it? I mean, it's sunset here. It looks beautiful. I mean, I'm not going particularly quickly anymore, but it's a mix of like probably the tires are not in best shape anymore, and I'm also not trying. There is no point in trying. I'm literally accidentally curb stomping the entire GT4 field right now. Granted, I think it's in part because the two real competitors have dropped out of the race. I think the Beamer is still in the race, but I don't know what happened to him. The Alpine, we obviously know what happened to him. He got absolutely mugged, and he's DNF. Fortunately, we will not have an opportunity to give him have another fight with him.
Car on the right. Faster car behind you.
Whoa!
Clear on the right.
And the steers off the circuit into the wall, like, what is this shit? Because I'm very sure that that's the guy that crashed the Alpine out, that just dived around the outside of us. Yeah. He's not even for position against me, he's a lap down to me. Right? And that is actually a car that is lapping me. That Ferrari here. So that McLaren is a lapped car, getting lapped by another GT3, decides to dive the GT4 in front of him, misses the corner. Like, you can't make this shit up, like, bruh. The problem is, there's just people who, the noobs, they haven't bought the GT4 pack, so they can't drive them. And also they believe that if they drive the fast cars, they're gonna go fast. Which is just silly. In part, the problem is that there's a bunch of, usually oftentimes, people like me, driving GT4s who are, like, actually good. So it's not like this is the novice class, really. This is the, I want to drive something else. And we can probably drive way better than most people in the GT3 class. Okay, great. Please, just get by. Why are you squeezing me? Like, seriously, he just squeezed me. He had a lot of room there on the left. But for no reason wanted to stay close to me. Like, are you scared of the track? I mean, on the Aries Discord, the meme is always the BMW drivers. Those being absolutely reckless and crashing everyone. They are the cause of, like, every accident. So yeah, we have, after this, 1 lap to go. Yeah, why are you driving on the right? You drive on the left. Next corner goes right. You just stay left. There's more track there to be used. I didn't check where he qualified, but I thought he had actually, like, qualified somewhere on the grid. I think he wasn't even, like, one of the last 3 cars that were, like, 5 seconds off pole. I don't know where those guys have actually ended up in the end. I mean, we're running P14 right now. I don't know where we actually started. Right, final lap. Fast exit here. It's like a slow, going fast into the corner. Yeah, you can immediately go sometime up there. Just carrying speed out of the corner. Getting slow in, fast out. But at least he's still faster than us GT4s, which is not something I would say a given after Bathurst. The Bathurst 4 hours, like, I think last week, when I drove with them. Yeah, we had in the opening laps a GT3 driver ahead of us. That was just about faster than us. I was more or less keeping up with him, and also McLaren, funnily enough. I would say that car got the grasp of the track finally after it crashed. Because for the rest of the race he was actually faster. I think in that case they forgot to switch the engine mode up. I mean, he probably was still slow AF, but being slower than a GT4 is a bit of an achievement outside of running safety car mix. And even then, that's a bit of an achievement still. I was so nicely up. Could have gone my sub 56 finally. Coming up to the checkouts. And some fireworks.
Excellent job, man. What a race. E1. Bring it back home safely.
Boom shakalaka. The Maserati strikes again. It's an M4. Oh, I mean, right, an M4 doesn't mean much, because the GT4 version is also an M4. Why did the fuck did they change it from M6 to an M4? Now nobody can keep them apart. Right. I think Silly and Janetta ran actually even out of... No, he hasn't finished yet. Oh, he isn't even squad as a finisher. That's unfortunate. Victor Hugo Schwab says, I apologize to Krishy for, like, I lost my rear and corrected onto you. I'm pretty sure he had already at that stage been taken out. Like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Schwab who actually took him out, it was Dorvish. Oh. Yeah, yeah, I am. But unfortunately, I'm not gonna stream the second race. I have the replay saved. I mean, we have a bit of time left. I'm probably gonna hop on the SRGPs. I mean, we can look at it while it's fresh, I think, briefly. Although it's probably gonna switch the session in a moment. I wanna see him at the end of the lap here. The accident. Sadly. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like half an hour, that's just, with the formation lap and everything, it's just gonna not run me out of time. I'm gonna be just on the server probably when the race starts there, so it's like... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw him. Because he's like going like what? So I'm pretty sure I saw him. I mean, we can just verify that briefly if I actually load up the replay. I didn't even see the Ferrari driver trying to make burnouts. Right, we wanted to check briefly on what happens to him. Yep, that was Darvish. Can confirm. I literally saw what I saw. That is car number 4. Car number 4 is Darvish. I'm not wrong. Here it is. And he just drives over to him and just slams him into a barrier. I'm right. I'm sorry, Darvish. I think I will clip this and send it to you because I'm not smearing you accidentally. I'm sorry. I mean, I mocked you. I would probably mock you for that one as well, but like I mocked you later in the race, but that one, Chief, is definitely on you. No questions asked. That is just beyond silly. No object permanence. You should probably drive a GT4 and get familiar with driving in general. I know these tracks are new, but that's kind of like not an excuse to not be at least aware of objects being there. It's an excuse for driving slow and inconsistent and occasionally hitting the wall. But hitting the wall the way you've done like there is a bit out of place, right? We wanted to see briefly turn 1 as well, I think. That's appropriate. Figure out what happened there. Boom. Okay. I mean, the 4 was already caught up in that accident. That's unfortunate for him. That's not something he was at fault at. So why is... Oh, the Bentley is spinning already there. There's a congestion. Ah, the Bentley drive... Oh, let's click. But yeah, he gets passed around the outside by the Ferrari and then just understeers into him, I guess, and then spins. I wouldn't want to be the steward who has to decide that one. I guess that's awkward. Like, he broke very early. There was a lot of room. He could have easily gone where the Ferrari went. Just gone left, and... Because he's out dragging him at this point. In the early stages before heading to the braking zone. So he should have just switched to the left-hand side. Taken the racing line. There's a lot of digestion on the right. Not actually that much. These guys could have broken way later and gotten a slut up the inside of those guys. Ah, but then the Porsche squeezes in, which leads to those two braking on earlier. Which leads to him braking earlier. But the Ferrari has like miles of space obviously there, so he takes full advantage of that. And the Audi should probably not have been there, but he's there now. And then in confusion he runs understeers into this car and spins. And collects this car, and then gets collected in this direction, and then gets collected by the Audi. So yeah, that was basically it. Who is he actually? Put a name to it. What is the 180? Yeah, that is a Sachs. Okay. Yeah, I was right when I said earlier that when he passed me, unlapped himself off me early in the race. That was the car that was spun there. And I just about threaded a needle there. That is for sure. But let's briefly... where am I? So here am I coming. I'm just about to clear that car and... Fuck me, Jesus! I knew it was close. It wasn't that close with the boat. It was close with the Porsche, and then there comes a McLaren across. Like, holy shit, that was close. I was lucky as hell, all hell there. Right. One more thing that I wanted to see. What happened actually to the BMW that was at this stage leading the class? Because at some point he drops out of the race. Okay, he's in the pit lane suddenly there. Ah, he had crashed, I think. Pretty sure that's a crash. Yeah, he's far back now. He's struggling. Like, he's clearly struggling with this car. No judgment against him. He might handle like the Mercedes. If it handles anything like that, I totally understand someone struggling with it. Whoa, that was a bit close. Come on. Oh, ouch! Oh! And then into the barrier in the back. Ouch! Ouch, that hurts. Boom! And then backwards, full speed into the barrier there. Rear wing damaged. Like that is just... Yeah, because they put those panels there. Which has an advantage because otherwise he would have completely shot across the chicane. I was far enough away that he wouldn't have hit me, but still that would have been... That could be... If someone happens similar accident to that and just shoots across the chicane backwards, like... That's just... That is evil. No wonder he was suddenly gone. From 1 second to the other. Like, that car is... The steering isn't bent. But, I mean, I'm sure he's not able to drive this at any speed at this point. He has to limp this back home. That is unfortunate, right? We now know what happened to the two contenders. We have about 15 minutes right now remaining in the practice session for SRGP. So we're gonna head there. But we need... Actually, we don't need to switch the car because SRGP is run as a GT3 server. So I just need to join the server, which makes it easier. Because most, if you run on... oh yeah, right, that's the password. So if you run on SGP, it usually is listed as a multi-class server, even if it's not. But in... yeah, right, we can switch to GT3. Yep, there it is. There's one friend on that server. I think that's the first time I've seen that metric listed. In the ACC. So I don't know if that was before there already. But in any case, it was there. So currently fastest time is a 57.2. Benchmark to beat. We do have a setup for this track. Temperature 27 degrees Celsius. I think... Yeah, I think the settings here on the car are like actually appropriate for that. Fuel, however, would not last probably the race length. It's a 30-minute race, but still we need probably a bit more fuel than 40 liters. That is designed for a 50-minute race with a pit stop in the middle. Right. Okay. Although I don't know what my fastest time actually with this boat has been on this circuit. Yeah, I don't know what condition actually the track is in. Probably green. So 57.2 on green is actually fast. Let's check. Fast, okay. Still, that's probably a pretty indecently impressive time. All things considered. Right, our car's obviously not the strongest in a straight line here. I mean, I can't technically switch cars in this championship. I could have like just gone Lexus for this round and swapped to something else, but hey, I am dominant enough here. I don't need to like swap cars here. I'm good enough in this championship already. Thank you very much. I want to at least fight somewhat for my wins. Okay, that's a bit much cut, I think, but seems to still be in track limits there. Be a bit careful on the throttle application there. I think the setup is definitely still working. Our tire pressure's looking, well, we need to get them up to 27.5. This is a GT3 car, not a GT4 anymore. We need higher tire pressures on this. We actually need high tire pressures for once. 272. That's not quick. Whoa! Holy moly! I do not remember the car doing that. I have PTSD from driving a Porsche here that very much did stuff like that. But not the Bentley doing this. That is new to me. Yeah, this lap time is not gonna be particularly fast. Well, it's gonna be actually a valid lap, so 58.3. Considering I had a massive slide. But I think this is not gonna be a wash here. Although this is practice. There can often be false dawns of the enemy. So many opponents I've seen over time like be decently quick in practice and then fall apart once the actual race starts. And once the qualifying starts. And actually go slow. And then there's me who's done the same yesterday a lot. Granted, I didn't go slower, but the opponent just suddenly went 2 seconds quicker. And it's just like, you what, mate? Like, you can't compensate for that. That's a bit out of place. Yeah, there was a minor time loss with that slide. I can say that for sure. A minor of 1.2 seconds. I'm pretty sure the rest of the lap is pretty so-la-la. Pretty mid. In the actual meaning of the term. Oh god, I should have put the card to first.
Yellow flag is the one. Yellow flag, be careful there. Brother man, this is me, your personal best.
And that was too fast. Still have apparently 10 minutes remaining in the session. Yeah, that's about right. So they're not running that late. So we're probably not seeing a fast forward of the session. We have 4 tenths down coming onto the straight, so this lap is not going to improve much. Oh man, the brake discs get cold on the straights. Not again! This is becoming a comedy piece. The fact that you could gather the boat up there still is insane. It indicates one of its massive strengths. Like the Porsche, you would have been dead. Like there's no chance of the Porsche you survive that slide. That is close to the cut limit. But I mean, I should be going 56 as easily. No, that. Can attack that corner actually even more on the exit. Not on the entry, we've seen what happens there.
Yellow flag is at all.
It's not gonna improve much.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
Oh, that is bottles and a half. That is invalidated. Just a bit too far. I mean, the gaps are very close for the top 4 also, with Mitrano, Salves and Tony. In Audi, BMW and McLaren respectively. Oh man, my final corner is really bad right now. It's really scruffy. Oh, missed the apex there.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
There's only 6 people have actually put a lap time in. That's slightly concerning. Okay, that's invalidated. Yeah, as I said, the guy was a bit nervous somehow for that gig. I'm a bit surprised by it. And unfortunately, my tire pressures have raised due to the massive oversteer moment. But I think the rear tire pressures were fine, the fronts were a bit low. It's 2.5 minutes remaining right now on the clock. Stay in 5th down the front stretch. Okay, okay, invalidate the lap.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Me oversteering for that corner is a bit scary. Continuously.
There's a slow car ahead.
Although what is also the case with this setup is that it was one of the first boat setups that I've made. So there's a lot less refinement in. Actually, this is not based off, I think, a Coach Dave set compared to the others. I think this is scratch build actually. Okay, Salvis has actually gone faster than me by 0.3 of a second. So there's a bit of a moving off the benchmark. Track should be giving more pace, but it's very difficult for me to find anymore. God, does respond at times quite twitchy on the rear. Well, we're still running 70 liters in the fuel tank, so it's my ace up the sleeve. Gonna obviously drop the fuel out of the car for qualifying. There's no rear wig on the car. I think I probably should, with these oversteers, just put like one click of rear wing in for the race itself. I think for quality this is fine. I think for quality this is more than fine. Right then. I think my competitors are not gonna make me this just that easy. Who was actually the guy who was chasing me in race 1? Yeah, that was Gonsalves. The guy in the BMW was Gonsalves. And he's again in a BMW M4, setting the pace. And also Mitrano has gone faster. So we have a few more, I think, Italians here that are actually fast. This is not completely a wash here in the front. Although, I mean, everyone besides the top 4 is gonna be like massively slow. And we have a gradient of like everything up to half a second and then 2 seconds, 2.5, 4.1, 5.1. And then no time for 3 cars. I was like, okay. I mean, I thought I was late. I guess there were people who were like even later. I still need to learn the circuit. I think that's actually a normal Evo Audi here on the left, and this is an Evo 2. That's interesting. Somebody must be running a non-Evo Audi. Yeah, that's Gron. He's running a non-Evo Audi. Yep, and you can tell by the steering wheel. The steering wheel's different. And the seating position is different because I have driven the standard Evo Audi and used it a bit. Right. Who's driven out so far? Lexus. Mitrano is out. And Tommy is out. Session temperatures, they have slightly actually crept up, I think, but not much. We're missing slightly pressure on the front. So, and then temperature change, we're gonna... I think 0.1 might be enough for temperature change adjustment. Right then. I think that's everything set to go. Oh, there's more. I got quite a bit of graining onto my tires. I mean, we had the massive offs. That's probably why my pace didn't improve anymore after a bit. Right. We don't have forever. Actually, I noticed I haven't moved my overlay. Never mind, not the worst. But yeah, we have how long in the session left? 8 minutes right now. So it's not forever. We do have to actually put a lap time in. Keyboard, put that away. Should probably take care on the first time through that corner, just to make sure that I don't get a massive oversteer twitch and immediately ruin my tires. Interestingly enough, they weren't flat spotted from the massive oversteer, they just got graining. Oh, thank you. That's appreciated. I really like the last two corners of Paul Riccard. I'm apparently in the minority for that, but I kind of enjoy those two. But I just can't line them up today. Had to lift down the exit, that's gonna ruin my lap time. But this is currently the banker anyway. Still missed the apex there.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front.
Nearly forgot again to go down to first. Still wasn't particularly a great line there. It's gonna be 56.5.
Yellow flag in sector 3. Your lap time is
Ah, that was a bit too much.
trying to stay on the track.
There's a bit more time in there for sure. Although sub 56 is gonna be a bit of a challenge. I think a good driver can for sure do it. I mean, they do that in the race pace, but hey. Still. Actually, my exit speeds are pretty low here. And so it says close up to 210s. Stay in fifth. And missed the corner entirely. Completely busted it up. That was some complete F there. Ah, that was a massive failure.
Yellow flag in sector 3. Yellow flag, be careful.
tire pressures are completely wrong. Just noticing. Stuck now with them.
Slow car ahead. Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front.
Well, we're not going fast. One final attempt coming up. Let's see, can we finally improve? Oh, we're just gonna be stuck at this pace. Oversteer off that corner. I think I'm slow onto the straight this time around. Not on the perfect line there. It's gonna cost me down the entire straight. Most likely an entire 10th there. Still I'm gonna be up at that point.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Okay, he has not improved, but I'm gonna slightly improve.
Session is now over.
Just to seal the deal.
Your lap time is invalidated. Please try to stay on the track.
Alright then. Lopez was complaining that he can't get used to ACC. Yeah, I mean he's 8 seconds off the pace. That's a bit of a yikes for him because 8 seconds. That is. Oh god, the temperatures have gone up massively. We're now at 31 degrees air, 38 degrees track. That is a massive temperature rise there. Brake ducts need to be. I mean, we were already running cold brakes before, so we can't really afford opening up the brake ducts. We have to, however, drop the tire pressures by massive amounts. I think an entire PSI is probably a decent idea. Stay with these brake ducts. Fuel, we're gonna need a bit more fuel. I didn't calculate my fuel actually, but 70 liters should be enough. We don't do a full formation here anyway, so that helps. That helps stay on top of the fuel. Do I want to put the rear wing up? Just in case for the corner. Nah, I think we're gonna be fine. Just gonna drive around it. Yep. Well, short formation here. So.
30 seconds.
ignition starter. And also a manual formation, so we don't have actually guidance where we need to be. And I am gonna give them a similar pace to what you would usually do. Restart initiated.
Light, go, go, go.
And in delete. Looks like everybody got through it in more or less the same order. Already got a bit of a breakaway. Got a second up on the next car. But no, he's no slouch. Even in qualifying, he was very much keeping up with us. So just give him a few laps and he will be keeping up with us still, although we probably will gap him slightly. Seems we got away with that. Relatively unpolished driving I'm doing tonight. Hey, it's working. Oh, that was actually out of track bounds, but it just invalidated the lap, luckily. Not giving me a warning for it. But it's good because, well, I don't need the warnings. When I'm done with this, I can then load onto the SimGrid server to practice a bit So some good race. So yeah, having here a busy evening, I guess. Oh, the Audi driver has actually gone by the BMW. So there's that. Probably should have fed the throttle earlier. Car's weight transferring a bit much to the front. I again got invalidated there. Come on, I want a respectable Dell side, not just anything, please. Six, 7. Actually, the Beamer's now dropped back even further. Ah! And then I promptly proceed to bottle up T1. That's a bit of an awkward line. Some time there, but I mean, I'm continuing to complain, but I have 5 seconds right now on the next car, so I'm on a very high horse here. Well, I think Audi might actually be keeping up with me. Might be a sleeper here. But yeah, Gonsalves had dropped behind Tommy, but I think he's already by him again. And oh yeah, my tires are actually getting quite warm. It seems I have also undershot my tire pressures. Yeah, my tires are way under pressure at about 0.7 psi, which is an understatement slightly. I think the Audi is definitely matching me. And while the engineer told me that it was a purple lap, I'm pretty sure the Audi actually went faster last time around. Not by much, but he did, I think. Yeah, he did. He actually has the purple lap right now. Come on. And that invalidated my lap. Because I hit the bullet. Luckily the game is relatively kind on this circuit and doesn't immediately hand you warnings for violating the track limits. Not like, I'm another circuit, not like another circuit, Coda, Yep. Guys behind are not like laying back, I would say. They're keeping up with me. Although I have gapped them quite a bit. Because yeah, the Beamer just went 56.7. My fastest is 56.9 so far. I was up on the last lap, but got invalidated again. I'm luckily not collecting track cut warnings, just invalidated laps. Makes things a bit, you know, easier. Yeah, that means in the 20 minutes remaining, might still see some action here. Well, I've so far run away. Although, I mean, the Beamer's mainly right now gaining and the Beamer's still behind the Audi, so those two need to tussle again, and once they tussle, they're gonna lose a lot of ground. The main reason those two are way further behind me, because they fought each other. I thought it was a bit too much, and turns out I was right. Unfortunately. Get called it so late for that. Man, my tires are just like falling off a cliff. Pressure wise. I'd expect better from them. I'm starting to have oversee issues there. On the other hand, it's not too surprising. I drove this car in Silverstone for a 2-hour race once. I had like, I don't know, 3-4 times through certain high-speed corners where the car like let loose. I didn't spin a single time during that race, but I visited the runoff areas a few times. A few or 2 times. Because the car went loose. I didn't chase the car up the hill. I knew it would die if I tried. Is this within track limits? Yep, it seems it just about was. And then I bottled this section completely up.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Seems I do have more than sufficient amount of fuel because it's predicting that I have about 30 minutes of fuel remaining. When in fact I need 15. No.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
That was a bit scary. Very clear that I overcompensated for the temperature change. A lot. Really not working out for me. That was slow. Feeding mid corner some throttle was definitely a terrible idea there. Yeah, that was actually too far. It's an invalidated lap. Luckily only invalidated, not track limited. No track out of warning. But I'm starting to get tired, I think. I need to do some practice after this, so... I'm just nervously glancing always onto the time relative to see what the others are doing. Closing in, dropping back. In the end it stays more or less the same. Back down to Mistral. Just under 10 minutes. Everything's looking good besides the tire pressure's got there low. Yeah, but only PB. The other guys have set faster laps for their faster times. I think we won't lap anyone this race. There was somebody I think who had come into the pits ahead of us, but well, they didn't exit before us, so. Yeah, there's Lukas who's in the pits right now still. Maybe he's just a retired car, I haven't noticed him yet. Fortunately, it brings down the running count to 10. But hey, seen worse numbers. Definitely the space is not particularly impressive. I should be doing better than this. Although I mean my tires are completely wrong, so I have a racing driver excuse for this. Although, let's face it, probably my competitors behind me are also working on completely fully functional tires. Ah, yeah.
Warning for exceeding track limits.
Okay. Well, I won the GT4 race earlier already, so might as well win this as well. As long as I don't get another 2 track cuts, I should be fine. Or spin. Both of these are still more than capable of knocking me out of my position. Especially the track limits, because those can knock me off the podium. Tommy seems to not have particularly the cleanest and best race tonight. Because he's constantly apologizing. So I think it's like 3rd time also here that he apologized during this race. He's still running, I think, P5 right now. Well, no, maybe not. Who knows? Actually, he's running P9. Should have looked the relative board the other way around. He's about 50 seconds ahead of me. Right now, we'll probably have 2 laps to go after this one. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, 2 laps. Braun is about 30 seconds up the road. So he is most likely gonna just about escape not getting lapped. All the time you have to leave the space. One's being the funniest F1 driver of all time. Maybe. Yeah, I think that's probably true, because his outbursts of like rage are like incredibly hilarious. Slightly broken English. When he gets pissed off, he's like... he delivers some truly memorable lines. Of the GP2 engine. Oh, what's my favorite car in general to drive? God, that's
Yellow flag in sector 3.
that's a difficult. I don't really have a favorite car. I mean, I like the boat. When it comes to ACC and GT3, I like driving the boat. It's a really fun car to drive. I do also like the. I also like the right. It's not competitive. It handles pretty nicely. I like the Maserati in GT4. I've driven the KTM a lot, but it's a marriage of convenience between me and the KTM. Like, it's a strange relationship. We've broken up and come back together again, and it's just... yeah, it's not really it, but we kind of need each other occasionally. Right. Oh yeah, I just thought like, wait a second, am I gonna finish the race here? No, I have one more lap.
This is your last lap and you're the leader. Keep it together.
Right. Yeah, but when it comes to general driving cars, like that's also a tough decision because I like just driving some variety from time to time. Be that Honda Civic, be that an MR2. Perhaps not so much Skylines, because they're a bit too popular. The MR2s are pretty nice. Be that DTM 92 cars, be that a variety of things. The 458s, the GT2s and the GT3s. Well, I mean, GT3s is not that... also, you've got the sadist thing wrong. Like, you're a masochist. You like pain. You don't like Sadists is people who like inflicting pain. Masochists are like... I mean, the joke is in my description. I describe myself as a true M because I'm pretty sure if I write masochist into my description, YouTube is not gonna have a fun day with it. They've gotten me already once for like writing early retirement into my description because they thought I'm running an early retirement scam or some shit. Because it's completely ignored the context in which the sentence was left in there. So yeah. Right.
Excellent job, mate. B1, what a race. Well done.
Ring ding 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 ding. 2 wins in about 2 hours. I think that is it up there is Garon driving. He nearly would have actually gotten himself lapped there. Oh man. There's the Audi and the yeah, these two, like, they were definitely not slow. I had a bit more consistency over them, but they definitely had the 1 lap pace still with me to keep up with me. And I wasn't that consistent or that good driving for me either. Like, they could have very much missed here. Right. Go ahead and see your star. Well, it's not, it's just the ACC crew chief. I don't use any other crew chief. The ACC one is good enough for me. I don't like the normal crew chief. I use it for the over races because, well, I need a spotter, and I couldn't get the R Factor 2 spotter to actually work. I turned on the spotting details on low, and it's just like it didn't spot at all, so I just went, well, for the first race, I'm gonna run actually a spotter. Alright, what was actually the fastest lap time for both of them? Trano, his fastest was a 56.925, so he actually wasn't faster than me. And he lapped in a 56.75. So, and I clocked in first a 56.995 and then a 56.86. But interesting enough, I lost a 10th on my... I had a way better first sector, 2 tenths up, but then lost time in the middle and the last sector to that time. Right. Did anything really happen? Not much really in this race, I would say. Did any accidents in the back at the start happen? Watch from here, just see if something happened there. I mean, Tommy apologized quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if 10 cars somehow found a way to crash massively into each other. But it wouldn't be, like, beyond the realm. Okay, Suzuka next week actually, so track that I like, but I'm not actually that good at, to be totally honest. Okay, these two are battling right there. Salvas actually gets in ahead. Something happened to Gonsalves at the end of the lap. Ah, I didn't save the replay. Fortunately. It's not like there was much happening, so... Well then. Okay then, I need to... Probably gonna do the practice for... I mean, I can run the practice server already, I just need to track down the information for that server. One moment. I need a sim grid. There's a bunch of announce events. I don't care, I need my events. So Silverstone 1000. Information. I think just searching for Coach Dave will reveal the server, and then I can do with this password. Something when I wanted to briefly check with teams, silver splits. Yep, I'm entered here in the 48 car with Edgar Ulrich and Robin Moe teaming up in the 720S, number 48. Rocky Monsters. Well, I mean, it's not been that long since I've driven for Rocky Monsters. It just dates back to end of last year, but still. Okay, there's the team practice. I mean, I guess I can join the team practice server. Let's just briefly swap to... I mean, yes, I'm gonna practice for direct delivery for Rookie Monsters because I don't have the other one. But I'm just gonna join the team practice because it's showing that one has rain on it. And I could join the solo practice briefly, just check the weather on it. It said that we will have rain. Yep, that's right. Clearly. 56.9 on this practice server. Damn. Right. Yeah, the RF2 spotter is also very annoying voice, I know, but it's it can be worse, but it doesn't work even. I mean, it's still better than letting it spot for you lap times and you summon some demon doing it. Like that stuff is scary when that happens. Right then, I'm gonna need to download the sets for this. Here, right. Let me just briefly reply to this person here. What gift do I want to use? Should be a boop one. No, it's not boop. I searched for a boop and it has the fucking bonk in it, and I'm just like, bruh. I don't want to bonk someone. I don't want to boop them. Nah, let's take this one. That works. So then, Oh god, that meme is gonna be hilarious to watch, but I can't watch it right now. I am still streaming. Right, we need the setups. Yes, that was the plan. We need the Rookie Monsters Discord. Need this channel here. Ah, there's a McLaren setup again. This is dry qualifying laps for sure. I have no clue. The problem is that their Discord is bloody chaotic in comparison to the. So I do have those setups already. So they don't have anything new besides the quali setup, which I'm not gonna use obviously because I'm not doing qualifying. I'm only racing. I still don't know when I'm racing. Like in comparison, if you want anything like that, for sure we're always more organized on in Team Iris than. And Team Rookie Monsters, that's something. Okay. Oh yeah, I always do check. Is fuel on the car? Yep, fuel's installed. Wet tires on. Take telemetry laps out. Oh yes, we think probably fun. I guess I can drive a bit. Oh no. Yeah, we need rain lights and we need a windscreen wiper. Now finally we've got everything. How wet is this track? Wet. I have a feeling this might not just be wet, but borderline flooded here. Oof! Yeah, this is speedboard racing here. Nah, it's not that yet. Then it would actually be showing as flooded. But it takes a lot in ACC to get the track to a flooded state. Like you basically, you have the damp track where it's slightly wet. Well, like slightly is not necessarily, it's decently wet, and you probably at the higher end want to switch to wet tires, and the lower end you want to run dry tires. But neither is like particularly great. In particularly that great. Greasy is even worse, which is usually a drying off circuit after it got wet, before it goes back to being fully dry. It's an absolute cancer. You need to run dry tires on it, but you never get temperatures into them. Wet tires just gonna get absolutely eaten up. And then you hit wet, and wet starts relatively low. At that point you really want wet tires on the car, but it carries up way high. So a slightly damper circuit is already a wet circuit. Up to this stuff like this here, when you lose massive amounts of pace. in very treacherous conditions. You have sometimes the case where so the rain is coming down, and as soon as the race ends, the track will be declared flooded because the cars that were just moving around were just about keeping the track underneath it. But yeah, you can make a lot wetter conditions in ACC. In comparison, the rubber states for a dry track are way more equally spaced out. So, green, fast, optimum. They're equally spaced out, but wet can mean like two completely different things. What I don't like about ACC is actually how the road looks in wet conditions. It looks really ugly. The water on it just doesn't look quite right. Water on the windscreen and stuff looks really fine, but like, I mean, it probably looks like shit on stream. Let's face it. The road itself doesn't look that great. Maybe it's in part VR and stuff. At least while driving, it doesn't look that great. I still haven't been able to take turn 1 without flying off. Oof. But yeah, wet conditions will mean very interesting driving tomorrow. And a spin here. I think it's enough. The wet conditions I have to feel myself anyway in. I think the car's handling fine. I hadn't clocked a valid lap in, and if I had, I would have been second to last. Would have beaten this boat driver here. Because I was about 3 seconds off the pace. Although I was massively off at turn 1, so that didn't help. Right then, let's get off again. Yeah, because I'm getting slightly tired, and I want to clip that stuff that I mentioned earlier. Okay, here more pings. How many pings are here all over the place? There's so many pings everywhere. Ping here, ping there, ping everywhere. The 5th and the 7th day apparently are Some Racing 604 are hosting two races at the Glen, one with GT3s, one with GT4s. So that's interesting. But the problem is they run as usual at 2 in the morning for me, so I'm like, maybe not. Wait a second, what are you? Oh. Yeah, this one runs at midnight. I was like, wait a second, that's confusing. It's like 12 a.m. Yeah, that's midnight. For some reason, the GT4 starts at midnight, which is unusual for them. Never mind. Okay. Thank you. Great when you're entertained. I mean, I enjoyed my races. It was a bit of... Well, unfortunately, the battles didn't quite happen. I mean, in the SRGP race, I ran away, and in the race at Glen with the Maserati, it looked like we might have somewhat of a fight on our hands after qualifying, but well, unfortunately, the Alpine got taken out, and well, I mean, the Beamer would beat fair and square, and then he crashed. So there's that. But I think he could also, for the championship, do better than that. I think all of us can do a bit better before the real championship starts. It will be interesting to see. Because this is just a fun race, and quite a few good drivers oftentimes don't show up for this, so it's interesting to see once the championship starts how the quality of the grid stacks up. Especially if Iversen comes back. If he realizes I'm driving the Maserati, he's gonna drive the Maserati as hell. That guy is fast as hell. He beat me in Barcelona in the 4-hour race. I still have that. That's still something that I need to pay him back. That one I can't let sit on me, because we battled for about 3.5 hours straight in that 4-hour race. Both in Maseratis. And he won. No, I don't do IRL racing. I only race on the simulator. I've actually never driven a go-kart. I have a driving license, a normal driving license, so I have that. But besides that, I don't have any real road racing experience. I haven't actually ever been to like a race in real life. I've been to a racetrack once. Visited one, but like not during a race, so yeah. It's also like, God, 20 years ago at this point nearly. I'm old, but not that old. It's really long ago for me. I was very young. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it now. It was a nice streaming for you. Have a good one. Bye bye.